morning and welcome. This is the first Tech Talk session we're doing, and it's planned to be a series of sessions where we bring you hopefully interesting topics from our tech community in the shape of, it could be news, articles, blogs or webinars such as this, so a mixed format. And we'll plan to showcase our members' capabilities, products and services, and that's what we're doing today. So today we have our members SharesInside with us. They're a company that was formed in 2016. They're a Digital Jersey member. I've personally had the pleasure of seeing them grow from a startup to where they are today, which is quite a significant growth. So they're an international fintech platform today. They have over 4,000 companies using the platform and over 6 million individual users. So very good progress. Like I said at the start, we'll be recording the session to put up on our website for people to look back at. And throughout the session, you'll be able to ask questions in the chat. And after the presentation, we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers. You can raise your hand, or if you feel more comfortable, you can put it in the chat. But we do expect to have a good amount of time for that. So with us today, we have 3 presenters from the SharesInside team, which are Dia, Veronica and Edison. They're based in the Zurich office, and I will now hand over to them for a quick presentation.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, mostly organized by Jess from Digital Jersey. Thanks for that, Jess. I would like to thank you all for joining us and for taking your time for this webinar. Did you ever struggle to find investors for your company? Then we are pleased to introduce to you SharesInside. On SharesInside, we turn it around. Let the investors find you. My name is Dea, and I am a customer relationship manager working at SharesInside. I am based in Zurich. I also have my working colleagues joining us here. I am joined by Edison. He's the head of Zurich.
Hi again. Hello, everyone.
Then we also have Veronica, who is responsible for our marketing department and for our Portuguese, French, and Spanish-speaking clients.
Hello, everyone.
Actually, I'm glad you made it on time, Veronica. Moving on. So, who are we? We are a Jersey-based fintech company, and we are also globally active. We were founded in 2016. SharesInside is a communication platform dedicated to best practice in investor relations. We are offering investors a secure forum to follow any private or publicly listed companies, funds, and/or startups that make up their portfolio and research investments of interest. Available on desktop or via free mobile app, SharesInside cuts out all noise, advertising, and fake news on the market by creating a direct line from issuer to investor. This gives issuers the ability to showcase their business to a global investor audience, building strong relationships with shareholders and proactively deliver the updates right to investors' personal accounts in an instant. So the right information at the right time to the right people. Let me show you how it works and looks on the iOS app. You can filter our startups to your interest. So you can see here, for example, biotech, financial services, financial technologies, or human resources technologies, and so on. So let me show you how one of our startup clients is doing it, Magment. Here you can see the About Us part. There's also a video from Magment, and there's the team infos and the news that they are publishing using the push notification system, so you can always be up to date. And you can also see the social media links here on the bottom. I will pass on to Edison now, and he will move on with the website version. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dea. Well done. Even I start to understand now what we are doing. Our CEO is a former JP Morgan trader, and he was asking himself why he can't find any reliable source without having to pay for information, for example, Bloomberg and Reuters. After a time, he found out how much money is looking for a place to go and how many really good companies, fund managers, and especially startups there are around the globe, which just have no global presence. How will they ever get access to overseas investors, and how can an investor find these pearls around the globe? Let me show you the solution. SharesInside is accessible on the free mobile app and on desktop. Everything about your startup is shown on your profile on SharesInside. Only the manager and the administrator can alter that. The main admin has access to all features, and the secondary admin has the rights to publish news and much more, but has no access to VIP. So if you, for example, like to publish news, simply click on News and Add News. On the left, you add your news by copy-paste and add any kind of multimedia like videos, pictures, and many more. And on the right, you decide who is getting the news. The public, which is everyone who is following your startup, your assigned investors, or your VIPs, which can be your biggest investors, board members, or you can even add mom and dad to it. This section is by invitation only. I remember when the head of communication at ABB told us that the truth is not what A says, but what B understands. Third-party news sites have an algorithm where the system cuts out words when the statement is longer than 7 words in the title. This can be the words not, maybe, don't, or anything else, and can change the meaning of the actual statement by 180 degrees. With SharesInside, you control the flow of the news. There are censorship rules in different countries. For this issue, we set up a feature where you can select countries which have to be excluded from the news. And as soon as you click on publish, everyone following your startup will receive a push notification in an instant, and it's simple as that. As of February 2021, SharesInside counts over 6 million user accounts, so there is a good chance that there is a potential investor out there for you. Let me speak about a good example Dea has made. This is Magnets. As you can see, they display videos, attached files, and show complete transparency in what their vision is. It's actually a cool product. They develop, for example, concrete platforms where you can park your car on and it charges your car by itself. It took them 6 weeks using SharesInside to get the investor they needed. And you have as much space as you need. That means there are no space or push notification limits. Every startup knows the problem where they create pitch decks per request, put in hours for a presentation, and eventually lose interest of the investor. This is nothing but tiring and time consuming. Instead, simply create one on SharesInside. Just send the link to your updated online desk and the work is done. The goal is to work smarter and not harder. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much, Edison. Why should you start using SharesInside? Let's face it together. The one constant in capital markets is change. As markets evolve, the need for additional real-time shareholder data is becoming more profound than ever. This challenge requires new forms of technology that provides for additional insights surrounding current and prospective investor bases and the information they seek. Not only does knowing more about an investor base significantly enhance a company's corporate presentation, but it can also prove all investor communications. Also to add, if a company is aware that an industry activist is showing interest in them, the management can determine a strategy to address this potential. Data can transform the historically reactive role of corporate communication into a proactive role. This challenge highlights the fact that historical surveillance methods are not antiquated and no longer provide actionable intelligence. Improving investor communications will impact your bottom line. How to communicate with your investor base is becoming increasingly difficult. Traditional technologies used by corporate communication simply do not provide adequate information to improve communications. The good news is that technology continues to evolve. Companies are now able to leverage data analytics to provide a view of capital flows. The risk a company faces if they do not implement next-generation corporate communication technologies is noticeable, thus making the adoption of these technologies not only a nice-to-have, but a need-to-have. We now would like to introduce to you Thomas Kutt. He's the head of investor relation at Ipsumet based in Switzerland. Ipsumet is using SharesInside on the equity side. but more details from him in a pre-recorded video because he's a very busy man.
Good day, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well these days. My name is Thomas. I'm responsible for investor relations at Ipsumet. Ipsumet is a leading manufacturer of injection and infusion systems for liquid drugs based in Switzerland. Like most of you, I'm sitting at home in my home office for some time now, but this is not a problem for me because I use SharesInside. SharesInside is an innovative tool that allows easily even small companies like us to communicate and to address global investors in a professional and, most important, a secure way. I have been a fan of SharesInside since the beginning, but I'm still realizing new aspects of the unlimited potential of SharesInside. Very important for me is also the excellent customer service, but furthermore, the ongoing rapid enhancements. This means I always have a state-of-the-art solution at hand, no matter where I work, no matter when I work. With this, I turn back. Stay healthy.
Thank you very much. And now we have a further testimonial from Mike Capraro, as you can see. He's the head of business development from Zedra, based in Jersey. And now our last testimonial comes from Amir Sagar. He's the head of corporate communication at the Al Raji Bank, based in Saudi Arabia. Amir, the stage is yours.
Amir Sagar. I'm based in Saudi Arabia, heading the communications and chief of staff in Al Raji Bank. Our function used to be under me for a few years. I've also worked in different industries, actually, in different listed companies, and have been using SharesInside from a personal experience for the past since 2017. So just a year after the inception and establishing, and I've seen it develop to where it is today. Quite frankly, just like the team said, if you want to reach millions of investors with just a click of a button, and when I say investors, I mean institutional investors, and those are the ones that really matter for listed companies, especially if, I mean, we're a bank, we're one of the largest banks in the region, so the number of institutional investors that we have is massive, and honestly speaking, with a click of a button, your news just goes out, shared with everyone. And the best thing is, as well, when you do that news or when you do share an announcement, you can also see the level of engagement of the investment community to that announcement. So that actually gives you also an indication of the level of how well the announcement was received. The other thing is tailoring your personalized page as per your theme, whatever material you want to put in there for the investors to have ready. I think the whole platform was really well thought of, and it keeps improving, keeps developing. The working on to actually also use the APIs. So whether when that's something SharesInside have been offering, and we're trying to get that to our market here, where if we announce using SharesInside, I don't have to do any other announcements, right? So everybody gets the news immediately. I think well done to all involved. I think Kurt, the CEO and the founder, when he thought about the solution, it really made a difference to all those who use it. And that's why I've been using it for 3 different companies now. Fantastic, and please keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amir. So these were all the testimonials we had. And last but not least, here's how you can sign up on our platform. So if you'd like to join our journey, you can simply click on this link where it's add your startup. And then here you can create your startup and send us a request. If any questions appear, this is the right time to ask them. If there aren't any, you can always give us a buzz. Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks, guys. It was really nice, lovely and refreshing. And really just want to get the questions started. Do you have any questions straight from the off from any of our guests? Feel free to raise your hand or just unmute and ask away.
Rory, can I jump in first? Heather Ann at
Heather, yeah.
We were really excited when Kurt started talking about putting stuff in for startups. I met Kurt when I first got to Jersey a couple of years ago, and the first thing we talked about was what about startups? And so it was really exciting to see that happen. And we are on the platform. Dia very helpfully helped get us set up and answers my stupid questions. One of the things I'd be really keen to understand, because I haven't quite got my head around it, is the best process to put things on SharesInside and then link to the social media platform links that you've got there.
We can add a link to LinkedIn, but Facebook is not allowing it anymore since about 12 months.
LinkedIn is all I need. Thanks, Kurt.
LinkedIn is fine. Mark Zuckerberg decided not to allow this access to Facebook anymore. So it's
I think we all know the story why. I think we know the story why behind that one. Facebook's a little bit touchy at the moment. Are there any more questions we're going through? I've got a few written in chat that previously brought through, but prefer to come straight from the chat now if possible. Has anyone got their hand up? I feel like I've gone back to my teaching room now, looking for all the hands up when I've had about 60 students in lockdown right now. So I can use my teacher voice to prompt people, or we'll go in with the initial questions.
We'll go with one of the questions we got prior to the session, which I think is something I saw briefly on the slide, but it's what's the cost for signing up as a startup? So I know there's a specific deal for Digital Jersey members. Could you tell us about that, please?
So I'll jump in right here. The service stays for free for the investors, yeah, and for startups, we offer it for £50 per month, and the invoice comes yearly.
Fantastic. And I think a follow-up question to that was, what's the process for signing up?
You can simply go on our landing page and click on the startup link, as I presented it, and you can fill in your business information and send us a request on like the blue button below, and our team will contact you after that.
Fantastic. And then another question is, do you save data from end users?
I'll jump into that. We do not save any information about the end user. All you need for registration is an email, a username, and a password. So the end user at the end stays anonymously, and that's what the investors like, after all. You can find out more about your investors by online surveys and seeing the numbers, how many times which article was clicked on, and how many times the investors will contact you for each news being published. This is the level in engagement you will see afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Is there a trial available? Someone's asking.
I might as well answer this one as well. The whole effort in setting your profile up begins in the start. This will be the trial time. So we decided not to offer this.
And I've got one more question, which is crowdfunding possible?
So you can advertise and organize it on SharesInside, but we don't have an infrastructure for that, unfortunately.
So thank you very much to Dia, Edison, Veronica. As I mentioned at the start of the session, we will record this. We'll see what we'll do and what format we'll be able to share and put this up. But if you have any more questions, the SharesInside's details are on our website. They also obviously have their own website, which is sharesinside.com, where you can find all the good information. If you want to get in touch with us at Digital Jersey, it's digital.je, and you have all our contact details on our website there. And please do get in touch if you have more questions, comments, or feedback, or want to find out more. So again, thank you to the presenters. Thank you to everybody that attended, and we'll wrap up here and have a good rest of your day.